This is Marian McHugh from UC Today, bringing you all the latest news and conversations from the unified communications and collaboration space. Today, I'm joined by Jeff May, Sales Director at Konftel, and we will be discussing the evolution of video conferencing, how customers make their choices in an increasingly crowded market, and what he thinks the video landscape will look like going forward. Jeff, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Marian. I'm great. Really pleased to join you today. Thank you.
Great. And to kick us off, Jeff, could you give us a quick rundown of what it is you do at Konftel and indeed what the company does?
Well, the company is a starting point. We are nearly 34 years old. We kind of started off this whole industry back in '88. When we designed the world's first ever audio conferencing phone. So we've been in this market a long time and created a lot of different solutions in all that time and help businesses all over the world to manage their business when they can't be together. So it's all about collaboration for us. That's what we do. We specialize in that, whether it's audio or video. It just means that we can provide the equipment, the endpoints, so that people can use whatever services they like, but with great quality audio and video solutions. So we've been doing that for a long time, and my role is to bring those products to the market in the countries that need them, and that's everywhere, really. I mean, the marketplace is truly global, but it's localized as well. Everywhere we go, there are businesses that need to work smarter and can't always be face to face with people.
And on that note, Jeff, Konftel, as you say, has been around for 34 years, has seen a lot of changes, but the last few years in particular has seen a lot of innovation. So how has video conferencing changed in recent years?
I think accessibility, affordability, and probably usability or userability. It's kind of once upon a time, video conferencing was probably the reserve of the big corporations, because it was kind of really high-tech stuff that required a lot of investment and dedicated knowledge and support to not just to install the equipment but to operate it as well. But it was a great market. It helped a lot of companies. So I would say that the volume market used to be audio conferencing. Every organization could afford and use audio conferencing, and that was a kind of tremendous asset for any organization to have. Video was very much more for the bigger corporations. That has changed. I think that the introduction of a lot of fantastic desktop web-based apps. I mean, there's many of them. The big names like Teams and Zoom are the ones that people talk about, but there are dozens and great choices, from organizations like Avaya, Cisco, Mitel, Google even. There's kind of lots and lots of companies now offering meeting apps to the desktop, to the mobile phone. That has made a massive change. What it means is that we can all access video from our own devices. So exactly what we're doing today, using a laptop. I could have taken this call on my mobile phone, but we could be having face-to-face video communication. And that's the difference. That means that it's a lot more accessible to everybody. It's not just the reserve of the big organizations anymore. Every company can now video meet just as easily as they could audio meet. And it means that everybody can do it. It's affordable. It's relatively straightforward.
So, Jeff, the current video conferencing market could be described somewhat as a jungle. So what does this conferencing jungle look like at the moment?
Well, I think that there is so much choice. There's so many buzzwords. There is kind of a lot of noise in the marketplace about collaboration, and I think that the jungle side of it just means that people have just got to be able to look in and see what's important for them without getting lost in this kind of like array of information and availability of devices, of services. So I think that the key thing really is that there is a lot of choice. So customers and resellers need to just almost take a step back to look at what is really available, and assess what's right for any individual company. The great thing about choice is that you can get a great solution for your individual business. The difficulty is getting there and making that right decision, and that's where the channel can make a really massive assistance, because as I said before, we're all a lot more informed now in using video meetings. We know what we know. Like anything, we don't know everything, and therefore when we are looking to kind of like the future, we want to make the best investment decisions, we want to get the long-term decisions right. What we use as a remote worker isn't necessarily the same equipment or services that we want to use when we're back in the office in a meeting room of 5 people or 20 people. So scalability is an issue. I think the key thing is that we've all become adept at using these services. If we can keep that familiarity and that similar user interface when we go back into the office, so that we have our own laptop with the services that we like to use, take our laptop back into an office, start your meeting in an office, but if there's 5 people with you, it's exactly the same routine. It just simplifies the process. The clever side of things then becomes, what do you need in that room to make everything better for a group of 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 people? And that's where education is important. We've always made a commitment to offer as broad a portfolio of solutions as we can, so there's a choice of different cameras and different audio points or combinations of the two. And that's important, because a meeting that previously might have taken place in a boardroom for 12 people might now only host 6 with social distancing. People actually might be sitting further apart from each other, so you might need wider angle cameras to collect that wider grouping of people. When we sit further apart, we need more powerful audio to pick up that greater distance.
And Jeff, what are the challenges that this conferencing jungle presents to customers and their IT providers?
So again, I think it's kind of getting the right information to make the right decisions in the first place. The IT companies, they're specialists. They're really smart organisations that have made a lot of great installations and support. But their marketplace is evolving and changing all of the time. So it's kind of a communication between the vendors like us, the IT providers, and the customers, the end users, to make sure that everybody understands what is best for that organization. So it is kind of one of the great things about the pandemic, I guess, if there is anything to celebrate, is that people have had time to kind of like have these kind of meetings where we can share information very quickly and immediately. And the fact that we've got everything online, we can kind of share our content, we can present to each other. So a lot of IT companies have been able to look at what else is available out there other than what they've been using, because there is already a big explosion in the marketplace for more collaboration and different types. So the engagement level between the likes of us and the channel, the IT professionals, has just got to keep getting more and more integrated so that the customers themselves can get it. And once upon a time, the IT specialists in any organization, they were the ones that probably had to go into every meeting to start it, to get people, the equipment working, to get people sat in the right places, to tell them what to do. That's not necessary anymore. The equipment these days is that everybody can just run it from, whatever devices that they've got in the room, mostly their own. So I think that the IT department, it's about more of the research up front, to make sure you get the right choices, and then the users are pretty much, then able to make all of the right decisions themselves to get the meeting effectively started and finished.
And how does Konftel help navigate these challenges?
Well, that's a great question that we've kind of spent a lot of time trying to kind of like work out how we can impose our knowledge, not impose it, but pass the knowledge through, um, and listen to the market as well, so we can get the feedback to make it. So we've created a video collaboration room planner. So this is an example of what we've done on our website. On the video page, the first thing you see is a schematic of typical room layouts. It could be a home worker, it could be a classroom, a boardroom, a management office, breakout areas, big, small, medium-sized meeting rooms. There's a collection of typical meeting rooms that would apply to any organization, or some of the rooms would apply. And in each of those rooms, we've made it interactive, so you can click on any one of those rooms, and then the products and solutions will be displayed that we think best fit that particular room. And further, you can then click on a setup button, and it will show you how you set the equipment up, what connects to where, what length of cables, or wireless cable, or if you don't want cables, what wireless options are there, where the video is best placed, what type of video it should be, how many audio points do you need, and then you can click on show me more, and you've got all of the product information about that solution. There are videos, there are PDFs on the documentation, there are case studies, there is a lot of information. So the idea being that both the resellers and the end users can look at that schematic and say, well, those kind of rooms there, they're typically what we've got. They might not be exactly the right size, but the shape and the general layout, the number of seats, that's what we're looking for. Click on that, and you can get an instant solution that's presented for that particular type of room. And that is so powerful, because without that, there's at least numerous phone calls, there's a lot of email exchanges, there's site visits, there are kind of like questions and answers going through. That whole process can take weeks and months to go through. So the idea of this, and your phrase of cutting through the jungle, it's perfect, really. It's just saying, just choose what is your typical setup, and let's show you what we can offer you. And that means that everybody's so much better informed, so much quicker, that hopefully we can kind of like shorten that whole education and sales cycle. So we encourage all the resellers, every single reseller, to make use of it, share it and show it to their customers. The customers, end users, can look at it and get their own ideas. So, and with the background information about all of the actual installation setup and the product information, the case studies, hopefully there's a lot of information there that will help everybody. And the other side of that as well is that there are challenges not just for the business community or the our individual companies. It's the whole world. We're trying to make everything much more efficient for everybody, and that has consequences on the environment as well. It's the forefront of everybody's mind how to be living in a more sustainable world, and that's a challenge as well that we help to address, because collaboration does reduce the amount of travel. So it's kind of like it's a big picture, this kind of like this world that we live in, and the collaboration, and it brings a lot of benefits as well. So the challenges are tough, but the benefits are huge.
And as you noted there, climate change and sustainability is very much at the forefront of the news headlines at the moment. And many probably don't consider the impact their hybrid working practices are having on our environment. So, Jeff, could you tell me a little bit about what those environmental impacts of conferencing are?
Sure. Well, immediately they mean less travel. So that's less carbon emissions, whether that's in the car, planes, trains, whatever. Less carbon is being emitted. It's been well known, I think, for a while that conferencing and collaboration means that we don't have to spend as much time out of the office. You don't even need to go to the office now. A lot of us are working from home, so that's a tremendous benefit to the atmosphere. So I think that's been understood. I think the last 18 months, we've seen that the changes that are going on in the world, not just 18 months, but for many years, we've got a responsibility to kind of do our best to minimize that. And I think that with collaboration, the fact that, we're all doing so much less. I mean, personally, I used to do many flights a year. I haven't done any for 18 months, and I'm not going to do as many going forward. So, I think that business people, we don't need to. We will do what we have to do, but the rest of the time we can make alternatives work, which is this. Car travel, moving to electric is one big thing. In fact, all of Konftel's workforce is mandated to drive electric vehicles. So we're all doing our bit. We at Konftel, actually, we are the pioneers in our collaboration industry to have become a climate neutral company. We've for 2 years now, we've been certified as climate neutral, which we're really proud of. We're doing our bit to help the climate. So we kind of we offset our carbon footprint with carbon credits. So we're kind of building or planting more trees. We're helping with more water supplies. We're doing a lot of different projects all around the globe. So as a company, that's what we eat and breathe. And in the products that we sell, that helps every company to reduce their own carbon footprint.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Absolutely. Same for me, Marian. Well, thank you for the invite.
And that's it from me. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please like and share on social. It's always appreciated. I'm Marian McHugh with UC Today. Thank you for watching.